All right, I will scoot over to actually. Yeah, you can start it, Brett. This should be pretty straightforward. You know the jam, call meetings order.
Yep.
Okay.
Call the meeting to order.
Okay.
Right. Okay. Call the meeting to order. Michelle, would you call roll, please?
Yes. Mr. Pahovich, Ms. Trabellis, Mr. McNulty,
Here.
Ms. Harris,
Here.
and Mr. Pierce.
Here.
We do have a quorum. Both Mr. Pahovich and Ms. Trabellis were unable to attend this evening.
Are you going to go through the new business as far as
Yeah.
hire for the? Okay.
If you don't mind.
Nope. Yeah, certainly do that.
So-
That's the purpose.
Great. So the first item of business is in regards to the zoning resolution rewrite. So we did have a ranking committee in place, and that included, I guess Dennis was the only one out of the group here, but it was Dennis, Adam Pahovich, and then 3 zoning staff members, which was myself, Brett, and Jeff Beard, who reviewed we received 3 proposals for the zoning resolution rewrite, and based on our rankings, we did select ZoneCo as our top choice. And tonight I would like to ask the commission to award the professional service agreement. It's just a simple motion from there. I think we're pretty happy with them. We completed the zoning diagnostics about 2 years ago, and this was the same consulting firm that did that. So we're happy that we can, they're familiar with us and we can move forward with them. This will be a pretty lengthy project. Their scope is in the agreement that I did send out, but there'll be several updates along the way. Staff will be having a kickoff meeting with them in October. I don't really anticipate board meetings starting till after the first of the year with the holidays coming up, because once we get this rolling, it'll be several meetings. I mean, we'll have to go through every chapter of the code, and I've been, at least my time here, I've been trying to do this for as long as I've been here, so I'm happy that we've gotten to this point. And so all I'm asking from the commission again is to make a motion to award the professional service agreement with ZoneCo, and then I would have each of you sign this agreement afterwards.
I have a couple.
Oh yeah, sure. Mm-hmm.
So, what was the name of the other 2 firms? Do you know?
It was Environmental Planning and Design. They're a company out of Pittsburgh, and
Fast forward or?
Urban Fast Forward. Yeah, and that was in Cincinnati.
Also in the in your contract here, 2 questions came up for me. One is in the Exhibit D scope exclusion. Number 8, consulting and not performing public engagements related to the project, with the exception of 1 public interest session within Module 2. And
Les, can you direct me to the page?
I'm sorry. Is that the page number? Is Exhibit B? What is that? Exhibit B.
Oh. Okay. Oh, B. Okay.
Yeah, that's, it references 1 public input session with Module 3, but I didn't see a Module 3. Am I misinterpreting something? Or is that, or is between Module 2 and Module 3 something else? Module 1 is to calibrate, Module 2 is to codify. I didn't see the Module 3.
That's a really good point. I think we can definitely still reward the contract with the condition of clarifying what Module 3 entails.
Okay.
And I can report back to the board on that.
Okay, and then the optional add-on, are those just something that if necessary you'll add them in, or do we have to review them?
So that was something that I asked the consultant to do, because the way we originally we had a fixed amount to this when we did our request for proposal, but I wanted to at least have the option to pay the consultant additional funds if the board deemed to have, say signage, for instance, took more than one meeting, and then we wanted to meet with them and go further on that. Those are the reason why these are in place. If we do exceed the $60,000 limit, we'll have to go back to the commission and the trustees to ask for more funding.
Okay.
It won't be personally, I don't think it'll be an issue, but that's why these options are in place. So we really won't know until we're probably mid to almost there, or I'd say 75% done.
Okay.
The project.
So are these only if we exceed the 60,000?
Yes.
Or because when I look at what the charge is for the kickoff, calibrate, and codify, that's all in the 60, right?
Yeah. So the codifying, that's the biggest cost, and staff will be sitting down with them, going page by page and making edits. And over the years, we've kept a long running list of what we didn't like about it or what we think needs to be modified. So
yeah. So the reason I'm asking is, should we? And I don't know if it's appropriate, but is it appropriate to approve more than the 60,000, given that 60,000 is already going to be used for the
we can, so because of the RFP, it was requested at a 60,000 fixed rate. We can't do that with this current contract, but again, if we are finding success early on and we want to start adding these optionals or the optional add-ons, we can, we'll definitely consider that.
Yeah,
So.
that's just the budget. Okay, I got it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then my only other question was on for the insurance. I see their certificate of liability insurance. Is there a reason to? I don't see it added here. I know that I read the contract that they have to have insurance and so forth. I read the indemnification. But is there a reason for them to add the township as an additional insurer here?
It was our legal counsel's requirement. So.
Okay.
That's
So we are going to add it as an additional insurer? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Very good. Yeah, those are all my questions.
Okay, great. Yeah, and I think the scope can be modified too. Even if there's something that happens faster than we anticipated, we can move funding around too for that.
That's good.
But we have not done this. I think the last time we did a full revamp was early 90s. So we're way past due on this.
How many public hearings were there about?
For this, I believe it's 3.
Yeah.
Which, so the other thing is we can have more, and then I can report back to the consultant.
Okay.
It's just the consultant would show up to 3 of them. So typically, they'll do a kickoff and hear from the board, work with us, a midway, and then a final presentation.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, we can have as many meetings as we want. This is a pretty intensive project, so I want to make sure we do it right.
Yeah. Okay.
Anything else? Okay.
Does the motion need to have
See, I would say motion to award
Zone Co?
Zone Code a professional service agreement.
That's it? Don't
Yep.
have it, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I move that we award Zone Co the professional services agreement for Orange Township.
Okay. Motion made by Mr. McNulty to reward the professional service agreement for Zone Co in regards to our zoning resolution rewrite. Second by Ms. Harris. Mr. McNulty?
Yes.
Ms. Harris?
Yes.
And Mr. Pierce?
Yeah.
Motion carries. And then at the end, I'll just have you all sign this. Thank you. The next item of business is something that I've been wanting to bring up for quite some time. So how we handle zoning commission minutes now, and which is why we have, we tend to have a huge stack of them every round, is that we do listen to the recording multiple times and write down every single word. after speaking with our legal counsel and other board, the trustees have gone away from doing word-for-word minutes, as our audio is considered our official set of minutes. According to our legal counsel, we're allowed to do that as well. However, I would still like to do more of like a journal entry, so kind of summarize what happened at each meeting. For instance, if the three of you are talking about monument sign and going on for 10 minutes, instead of us spending a couple hours putting those 10 minutes together, I would just like to summarize. Les, Sierra, and Dennis spoke on monument signs, or something in that matter. So we'd like to go or try to go into that format. We thought this meeting in particular could be our first example of it, and hopefully that would work. And again, the audio, if somebody is asking for a full record, or to hear everything, we would send them the audio. I don't know if I'm not asking for any motion. We don't need to do that. I'm just wanting to get consensus to let staff and I work on that. We do have a zoning secretary that her entire hours of work is spent on minutes. So we're just trying to be more efficient as the department goes.
Yeah, no, I think it makes sense if you have the audio, and as long as it's preserved, if anyone wants to go back and listen and find something specific, then go back and listen to it. I always kind of wonder why all these.
It takes a lot of time.
In the old days, you'd always have somebody that would look through it and say, well, I really said this, or the word's misspelled, or it would be some minor points that they'd want just cleaned up. But I don't remember of all I've heard anything major, like here's what I really meant and this is what's written. It's always been minor stuff.
Yeah.
So I think if anything that simplifies it for them is good.
Yeah, I mean,
Very good.
We will be listening to the whole recording to make sure we capture the key points.
Yeah.
But so it still takes time. But I think as far as typing word for word, it's not necessary. And if we're expecting a controversial meeting, we'll hire a recorder to transcribe it. So. Which we did we just did it at our trustee meeting last night. So
We used to have one at all the meetings.
Oh, okay.
We used to have one at BZA.
Yes.
Used to have.
And we do have it at BZA.
Oh, you still do.
So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is the recording from the zoning or the?
So we have two options just in case the audio goes out. But this, what we speak in the microphones, that's streamed on our YouTube channel, and then we do have a recording device that kind of captures it too. So.
Okay.
So we don't need to approve these any longer. Is that what you're saying?
I still would like the commission to approve the journal entries because
Okay.
I want to ensure that I don't want to miss. Yeah, I don't want to miss.
Okay. Because in the old days, everybody would get these, read through them, and say, "Hey, do you have any issues, any changes you need to make?" And would make those changes, but that's not really necessary.
No, I mean I think the board would still approve it, but as far as like going by line 264
I know.
should say this.
Okay.
Just, no, but we can get away from that. So, okay, I will let the other board members know too. If one of them does have concerns, I might revisit it at another meeting, but hopefully that's not the case. So,
And if the public wanted to listen to the recording, and just simply ask.
yeah, so our YouTube channel is always open to the public, but if they want just the recording of it, it's just a records request. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And now the last thing I have is 7 minutes.
Yes.
And Brett did read all of these and provide corrections for each of them. So we have to make a motion for each one. But.
So it really isn't. Okay. The first one is I move that we approve the.
Well, sorry, Dennis. I do have some. So
Sure.
Let's we'll open it up for discussion, and then
Okay.
I'll make comments on what changes we need to make, and then we would make the motion.
Okay.
So.
No problem.
So for the February 23rd, 2021 minutes, we do have 4 corrections, and we just note it for the record so our zoning secretary can make such corrections. On page 2 of line 67, correct the word he to the developer. Page 6 on line 297, correct the word use to it used to be. Page 12 on line 608, correct the word once to in one. And page 15 on line 714, correct member hash mark to member question mark. So that's all we had.
All you have for the first one?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that was the ethics training, right? Right. Okay. So
I move that we approve the ethics training minutes from February 23rd, 2021.
A second.
okay. Motion made by Mr. McNulty to approve zoning commission minutes from February 23rd, 2021. Second by Ms. Harris. Those voting, Mr. McNulty,
Yes.
Ms. Harris,
Yes.
and Mr. Pierce.
Do you have anything that you need to change for the April 13th?
I do. On page 2, on line 66, to correct the word, correct where to we have increased. Okay. So instead of we are, to we have increased. On page 6, line 264, correct the word vein with a hash or slash mark to vein.
It's just the word vein.
Vein. Okay, vein was spelled wrong. I'm sorry. And and I'll send these comments to our secretary too. So she has it. And that's all I have. Just those two.
I move that we approve the meetings from April 13th, 2021, ZON 21-01 North Farms.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. McNulty to approve zoning commission minutes from April 13, 2021. Second by Ms. Harris. Those voting, Mr. McNulty,
Yes.
Ms. Harris,
Yes.
and Mr. Pierce.
Yes.
You have anything for ZON 21-02?
Yes. On page 1, line 46, correct. Didn't we want to didn't want. Page 3 on line 141, correct the word quality to qualify. And page 4 on line 184, correct targeted O to targeted to. So there was a typo there. And that's it.
Move that we approve the minutes from April 27th, 2021, ZON-21-02, South Old State Road, PERD.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. McNulty to approve zoning commission minutes from April 27, 2021. Second by Ms. Harris. Those voting, Mr. McNulty,
Yes.
Ms. Harris,
Yes.
and Mr. Pierce.
Have something for 2103.
We did not have any corrections for May 11th, amongst the others.
I move that we approve the May 11th, 2021 meeting minutes, ZON-21-03, McCready.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. McNulty to approve zoning commission minutes from May 11, 2021. Second by Ms. Harris. Those voting, Mr. McNulty,
Yes.
Ms. Harris,
Yes.
and Mr. Pierce.
And then for the Evans Farms, 2104.
Yes. So on page 1 of line 88, correct the word. It's a typo to the word major. On page 3 of line 127, correct. Another typo. It should be all the way. I think there's an extra T there. Page 6 on line 296, Adams Pahavich's name is spelled incorrectly, which happens a lot.
Yes. I move that we approve the meeting minutes from June 29th, 2021, ZON-21-04, Evans Farms.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. McNulty to approve zoning commission minutes of June 29, 2021. Second by Ms. Harris. Those voting, Mr. McNulty,
Yes.
Ms. Harris,
Yes.
and Mr. Pierce. And then
Have anything for the RCOD 21-02?
yes, I actually have several on this. There was the reason why is there was some trouble with the recording, so we kind of had to re-listen and capture the words again. So and I'll try to go over these briefly. Page 1 on line 21, correct So the alternate that was in attendance was Mark Freeman, and we had it as Mr. Rick Beer. He was not in attendance so we'll have to revisit the minutes to make sure Mark Freeman is the one speaking, not Rick Beer. Page 1, line 28, it should say, and this would be Holly Maddie, what you received today. What you received today were the Delaware County Regional Planning updated comments. They were more broad. Am I reading this right, Brett? They were more broad to the overall overlay district than specific to this project. I think that going through this with the developer at the meeting earlier this week, that they are able to respond to some comments on this list, if not all of them. So that was missed before. On page 1, line 35, the question marks is Laura Comek, and that is Comek. Page 1, line 37, correct the to the points, so that was a typo. Page 2, line 59, the acronym is RCOD, so that would be for the Route Corridor Overlay District. Page 2, line 65, correct one car to actually two car garages. Page 2, line 73, correct. It should be the BIA. There was an extra letter in there. Page 2, line 76, correct that to that is. Page 4, line 201, correct sheet to shake. Page 4, line 201, the question marks is board and back citing. Page 4, line 202, the question marks are shed roofs. Page 7, line 336, the question marks are Old Wilson Bridge Road. Page 9, line 399, correct in art to in part B. Page 9, 421, correct the question marks to continue. Page 12, line 515, the question marks to density bonuses. And page 14, line 600, the question marks so the question marks would be from Mr. Freeman, this whole thing about hidden front doors from the county regional planning really just aren't in the code. That's all we have. Thank you.
I move that we approve the meeting minutes from July 6th, 2021, RCOD-21-02, Orange Summit Communities.
Second.
Motion by Mr. McNulty to approve the July 6, 2021 minutes. Second by Ms. Harris. Those voting Mr. McNulty?
Yes.
Ms. Harris?
Yes.
And Mr. Pierce?
RCOD-2103. You have corrections for that?
Just one. On page 3, line 113, the word Orange Point was spelled wrong. So that's a street name, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Move that we approve the meeting minutes from August 3rd, 2021, RCOD-21-03, Caliber Collision.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. McNulty to approve August 3, 2021 minutes. Second by Ms. Harris. Those voting Mr. McNulty?
Yes.
Ms. Harris?
Yes.
And Mr. Pierce?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Have anything else, Michelle?
No, not for this meeting.
All right.
I do have one.
Oh, yes.
Go ahead.
Question. You talked about the new recording of the switching from the word for word process. My question is, when whoever's listening to them, because I presume you will listen to them, right, as you've always done, if there's a correction or something that, some sort of correction to what you've heard or whatever, clarification, because if it's heard audibly, maybe someone else would hear it the same way incorrectly.
Sure.
Is there some documentation of that? When you notate that somewhere that what was actually said was X? Just as kind of a record that, hey, you listened to it, you heard it, please be aware when you get to 5 minutes, 3 seconds, whatever, this is what was actually said, or where it may sound garbled or whatever. We notated what.
Oh, I see. So if we're not able to capture it, given the audio,
similar to like, some of these that
Yeah.
question marks or something, seem like it was misstated. And I don't know, are these notes someone actually writing it out, or is it the technology using translation?
Oh no, we don't have like a program for that. So it is just one of us listening to it and typing it out. And the other thing is the person that does the minutes isn't here. So that's why I had, Brett double check, because, he's been involved in most of the meetings. He would know what we're talking about as far as like the architectural standards or something that's missing. So, and if something is, so when we do these journal entries, if there is something we're missing, we'll bring it up before the board approves it.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that there's something that indicates, because over time, someone will forget, what did they say?
Yeah.
What did they say again? What was that about? What have you? And if there's just a note somewhere that's attached to it or kept somewhere that says, hey, yeah, we listened to this. When we hear this part, it sounds like what? This was the general discussion, and this is what that is.
Yeah, and I think that's why I'd like to test it with this meeting tonight, since it's not, I don't want to say it's not important, but we're not talking about an application here, so I think this will be a good start, and hopefully we can get a good template in place for the following meetings.
Yep.
Good.
Okay.
All right.
Anything else, Les?
Well, that's it.
All right. Meeting's adjourned.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Do you want, if you can sign